All right, now in this video, I'm going to go through a continuation of linear equations. We're going to be looking at exercises 3B, C, D, and E. And I'm going to show you how to use your CAS calculator to do a lot of this stuff as well. Now, it's important to note that I've discussed with you that we're looking for and finding the slope of an equation. What do we use, Scuds, to find the slope of an equation or line? What do we use?
Y equals mx plus c.
Y equals mx plus c. What's m?
The gradient.
The gradient. Good. And what else is it? It's r. What does r over r mean, Adam? What does r over r mean?
Rise over run.
Thank you. Rise over run. That's what we were looking for. So you might, whether it's slope, whether it's gradient, whether it's rise over run, they're all the same thing, aren't they? Now, of course, we're going to do this by hand, but of course you can do it with your calculator. So let's go ahead and go here, and let's just do this one. We're going to do two. We're going to do two over here. So first of all, if I want to find the slope of a line, first of all, what can you tell me? We know that we've got y equals mx plus c form. Okay. Now, what does? Shh. Be careful. It has to be in this form in order to find the y-intercept, because c is the y-intercept and m is the slope or the gradient, and we have a formula. In other words, we can say that m, the gradient or slope, is equal to rise over run. Now, if we've got a set of coordinates like we do here, then we can even just draw a triangle and we can say, well, what's the rise? And what's the run? Now, it rises, it goes from 3 to 9. So therefore, we can say that the rise is equal to 9 minus 3, and the run is from 2 to 5, which is 5 minus 2 is 3. 9 minus 3 is 6. 6 over 3 is 2. So the slope of this equation, is 2. In other words, for every time we go across 1, we go up 2. Okay, this is the slope. This is a slope of 2. Now, if I was to say a slope of 4, okay, if this is 2, then the slope of 4 means we go across 1 and up 4. We've probably got something like that. All right? Now, one thing I want you to realise is that positive slopes, whether they be very small, we're going to have a gradient which is positive. If we have a negative slope, they're all going to look like so. This slope here is a very small negative slope. And we're getting larger and larger, and this is extremely large negative slope. Can I ask you though, what is the gradient of a vertical line? What is the gradient of a vertical line? What is the slope? It's undefined. Can someone please put their hand up and tell me why it's undefined? Someone want to have a go at this? Okay, can you say Ezio?
There's no slope.
There's no slope. Rise over run. Let's do it. Rise. Well, it's rising. Rise is infinite, but its run is 0. And if I put anything by 0 in my calculator, I'm going to get undefined. So if you're ever asked to find the slope of a vertical line, the slope is undefined. Don't just write it like so. Okay, I hope you're following me so far. Now, I've done one question. Let's do another one. Let's do this one. What can you tell me, Deej, about this slope that I've just circled here? What can you tell me about it?
It's negative.
It's going to be negative, isn't it? And if you don't get a negative slope, so the first thing you do is you look at the slope and you go, yep, it's going to be negative. And if you don't do it, but this time I'm going to use the equation. M, which is rise over run, is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay? And what we got here is I can say that it's always to the left. You start from the coordinate at the left that you've been given, which is this one here, and that's always x1, y1. Okay? And then this one is x2, y2. And of course, with coordinates, we always know that x becomes before y in the alphabet, so x coordinate comes first. So let's go and ahead and plug those in. y2 is equal to 0. y1 is equal to 5. Hence the negative. x2 is equal to 4. x1 is equal to minus 1. Be careful. Now the thing is, if you were to mix up your negatives and end up getting a positive answer, you know it's incorrect, isn't it? You know that you've done something wrong. That's what I'm talking about. 0 minus 5 is minus 5. 4 negative 1 is 4 plus 1, which is 5. So therefore, the slope is equal to negative 1. Are there any questions about this? There you go. There's 3b. Let's have a look at looking at the intercept of the intercept slope form, or y equals mx plus c. All right, let's have a look at that, and that's basically a question from 3C. Let's go through all of that. Now it says here, sketch the graphs of these. Now all it says here is write down the y-intercepts and the slopes. If equation is y equals mx plus c, we're going to say again that y equals mx plus c. You need to know that m is the slope and c is the y-intercept. It has to be in this form. If it's in this form, ax plus by is equal to c, you cannot find the y-intercept and you cannot find the slope from that. It has to be y is terms of x. So, Tom, can you please tell me what is the slope for 6 minus 3x? What is the slope?
Negative.
Negative
3.
Negative 3. What's the y-intercept?
6.
Thank you. Ben, can you tell me the slope for y minus 2x is equal to 0?
Which one's that?
Y minus 2x is equal to 0. Can you tell me the slope?
So the slope would be negative 2.
Is it in y equals mx plus c
so
form?
you'd have to rearrange it first.
Okay, so rearrange it?
Can I do it here or on there?
Well, do it in your head. What do I have to do to both sides to get rid of that negative 2x from the...
Add it. So
Add it.
you'd have y equals positive 2x.
Okay, so y equals 2x, so what's the slope?
So the slope would be 2.
2, and what's the y-intercept?
0.
Thank you very much. And Andrew, you're my man, all right? Y equals 5x minus 10. Can you tell me what the slope is?
Which one? The slope is 5.
And the y-intercept?
Negative 10.
Okay, excellent. Now, I'm going to highlight the ones that you need to do some manipulation, and I'm going to show you what to do in your CAS calculators if you need to do this without a calculator. Over here, let's have a look at this one. Let's say 2x minus y is equal to 5. You need to rearrange that one. You need to rearrange this one. You need to rearrange this one and this one. The rest are y equals. So I'm gonna do I in the CAS calculator. So let's go ahead to the calculator. 2x minus y is equal to 5. So can someone please tell me, when I go to the menu, what's the easiest way to get to the solve function?
Menu 3.1.
Say it again.
Menu 3.1.
Awesome. Menu 3.1, and we get solve. Now, what have we got? We've got 2x minus y is equal to 5. So we go solve 2x minus y is equal to 5, comma, what, Deej? Comma what?
Not listening, sir.
Yeah, I know you were. That's why I'm asking you.
Then
Solve 2x minus y equals 5, comma.
Comma y.
Why? Because we want y in terms of x. And then we go enter. Look at that. Shh. Y is equal to 2x minus 5. So now what you can say is for this one, you can say that y is equal to 2x minus 5. For those people that can't transpose formulas, use your CAS, and the slope is 2 and the y-intercept is negative 5. Are you following me so far? All right. Yeah, you have, but you, I don't know. You probably need to do it again. Okay, now, let's have a look at this one. It says sketch the graphs. Now, we can, of course, sketch them in a calculator. Let's do that. I'm going to do y equals 20 minus 2x. Anthony, what can you tell me about the slope of that graph? Of y equals 20 minus 2x.
It's negative.
It's negative, so it's going... Now, what's the y-intercept, Hannah? What is the y-intercept of...
Y-intercept of
20 minus 2x?
is 20.
Excellent. Now, we know the slope, we know 20, so we can start filling this out. But the problem is the x-intercept we also need to find. So I'm going to show you what to do on your calculators, because remember this, you have calculators for every assessment and in further maths you do. So y equals 20 minus 2x. Let's do that. Go to our home screen. We go to graph. Oh no, we don't want Scratchpad because Scratchpad does funny things. Let's go to this one, not Scratchpad. You can see there that it says f of 1 of x. That's our first function that we're sketching. If you sketch 50 in your calculator, it'll say f of 50x. But you just need to say that our function of x is actually, we've got y as a function of x. So if I've got 20 minus 2x, then what we're going to do is y is equal to 20 minus 2x. Now what you'll notice instantly is, thank you, what you'll notice instantly is the y-intercept will be 20, it'll be a negative gradient, but the one thing we don't know is the x-intercept. So I press enter. Now I go to menu and I go to Windows Zoom, and I'm going to zoom out because it's probably easier, and I'm going to press enter again and zoom out so it's nice and easy. Now we know what the y-intercept is. We can label the coordinates of that. However, if you want to find the x-intercept, the easiest way, rather than solving an equation, is going to menu, analyze graph, 0. And then I select a lower bound. And then I go drag and go whee. Look at this. And I get this hand. I get this hand and I go whoop, whoop. And I can't, there you go. Oh, I don't know why. You can actually, oh, there we go. There we go. What's the x-intercept? 10, 0. Now let's state it in coordinates. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to say we've now sketched our graph, which we've done with our calculators. All right, we've sketched a graph and we know that the graph is going to have a y-intercept of 20, but let's do that in coordinates. That's 0, 20. And we know that it's going to have an x-intercept of 10, 0. And then we sketch our line. We've got 2 points in a line. We then sketch our line. And this, of course, you label your axes, don't you? Is everyone okay with that, Ben?
Can't you just make y equal 0?
Yes. Thank you. So Ben's telling us how we find the x-intercept by hand. Can you tell us how, Ben?
If you make y equals 0 and then solve for x.
Good. And I'm going to show you how to do that. But remember, I've just shown you how to do the calculator. I've shown you the cheater's way. What we're saying is let y equal 0. And then we've got to solve for x. Now you can do it in your calculator if you like. We're not going to do it, but we're going to say that 0 is equal to 20 minus 2x. And therefore we're going to replace that, add 2x to both sides. We've got 2x is equal to 20. So therefore x is equal to, dividing 2 by both sides, x is equal to 10. The one thing I will say is that you will be asked you'll be asked for coordinates. What is the coordinates of the x-intercept? Can you tell me the coordinates?
The x-intercept is 10.
Yep.
And the y one is 0.
The coordinates of the x-intercept is actually 10, 0.
10, 0.
Okay, coordinates. Coordinates. We've got an x-coordinate and we've got a y-coordinate. This is the coordinate of this here. Is the coordinate of the x-intercept, 10, 0. If you write 10 and you're asked for coordinates, then you're actually incorrect. But it says clearly showing the x and y, clearly showing the y-intercepts. Well, I've just shown you how to find the x. That's 3C. All right, now I'm going to pause this and I'd like you to have a go at doing this one. Pause it, pause it. I'm going to get you to have a go at finding for me, please, this slope here. All right, whether you've done it or not. I'm going to pause the video now. Shh. All right, now I'm just going to show you this. We're going to find the equation. Now the thing is, you're saying, but you just asked me to find the slope. Shh. You just asked me to find the slope, Mr. Underwood. But the thing is that C is the y-intercept. And we're given the y-intercept because the y-intercept is what? It's 2. So we already know C. So the slope is always the hardest thing to find. So in order to find the slope, we go m is equal to rise over run. And that is equal to y2 minus y1, which is 5 minus 2, always starting from... Oh, is it? Is it? Is it 5 minus 2? Yeah, it's y2 minus y1. Yeah, that's right. 5 minus 2 over x2 minus x1, which is 5 minus 0. So 5 minus 2 is 3 over 5. Now, a lot of you might sort of say that that is also equal to 0.6, which it is, but you can leave it as that. Now, we found what m is, and we now know what c is. So to state the equation, it's pretty easy. Y equals 3/5 x plus 2. Thank you. And we have now found our equation. Is that okay with you guys? I hope so. Because the last thing is, and I'm going to show you here, when we're getting to 3e, it's then asking us to find the equation of these lines. Look at that. It's like 2 questions. Okay, so 3a to e has to be done before... Do we have class tomorrow? No, we don't. So what's due for homework next week? 3a, b, c, d, e. And using your graphics calculator, let's see what f is. Nah, f as well. A, B, C, D, E, F, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z.
What now I know my ABCs. Won't you come and play with me?
Yeah, awesome. Awesome. Well done, Taylor. Well done. All right, now, so A to F due next Monday. I'm assuming it's all known. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to do this one. Find the equations of each of the lines. Oh, you know what? Let's do this negative one because negative ones are always a little bit harder, aren't they? Okay, let's just rub that out. And we're doing this one. Now, first of all, we know that we want an equation is in y equals mx plus c form. Do we know, shh, this is the trick though, do we know the y-intercept? Have we been given the y-intercept? No, for that yellow one. We haven't. Now, shh, first of all, let's find the slope. M is equal to, shh, everyone stay there. M is equal to, because otherwise you won't be able to do A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, M is equal to rise over run, which is 4 minus 10 over 5 minus 1, which is equal to minus 6 over 4, which is minus, don't go anywhere, stay there, minus 3 over 2. Now we've got y equals minus 3 over 2x plus c. How can I find c, Rochelle? How can I find c? Have I got another point on the line I can test? Okay, so what we can say is when x equals 5, y equals 4, and we can sub that in to find c. Okay? I'll see you guys next week. Do your homework. So I'm going to finish this video off just quickly. 4 is equal to minus 3 on 2 times 5 plus c. See ya. 4 is equal to minus 15 over 2 plus c. And we've got to find c in the equation. So we've got to add 15 on 2 to both sides, or you can use your CAS calculator. C is equal to 4 plus 15 over 2. And if I think about that, 4 is the same as 8 over 2. 8 over 2 plus 15 over 2 is equal to 23 over 2. So now I've found C, and because I've used the part on the line, so therefore my equation is y equals minus 3 on 2x. I check that it's got a negative gradient, plus 23 on 2, and away we go. And that is the equation for this. All right.